Another great day to talk about the game that we love, and what an exciting week of football we had this past week. We had a lot of shockers in the Premier League, and we had a new champion in the Bundesliga. And I will not lie, I was impressed. I was happy to see a domination that has lasted for 11 years finally cut short. But before we go into that, here are the results of the game that went down during the week. Amazing results, shockers in the Premier League. An emphatic win for people who wanted to win the Bundesliga and Bayern Leverkusen. And we have to talk about Bayern Leverkusen for a moment, because what they have done is amazing. Having to dethrone Bayern, who has had an 11-year reign over the Bundesliga, unchallenged, to be honest, because before now, no matter how much teams pressured in the Bundesliga, bad as he bad, Bayern Leverkusen will find a way to win, and they always did it. But this time, they were knocked off the league by more than 10 points. It's that bad. It shows how well Bundesliga has changed with the likes of Xabi Alonso in it, and how his team has come up with a different style that was able to rival that of Bayern Munich. It was an emphatic victory, 5-0 on the night. Victor Boniface getting a goal, Florian Wirtz getting a goal, getting 3 goals, and Xhaka, the rejected player at Arsenal, the one that Arsenal fans almost wanted to kill, coming out, not just getting a goal, winning a title. And I'm throwing a dig at Arsenal fans. Winning a title he could not win at Arsenal. Yes, I said it. Winning a title he could not win at Arsenal. But then, congratulations. We have to give full commendations to Xabi Alonso and what he has been able to do at that club. You don't see this every time, where a coach comes into a team that has never, and I mean never, won the Bundesliga before, stays just 2 seasons, let me say 1.5 seasons, let me say 1.5 season. He stayed there within this short time. It takes some coaches 5-6 years. It took Klopp about maybe 5-6 before he could win the league. And within 2 seasons, you've been able to win the Bundesliga from the defending champions. It's a big feat. But the big question now is, where did he go wrong for Bayern Munich? Where did he go wrong? A lot of things happened this season with Bayern Munich, with the likes of Oliver Kahn stepping down as director and so many issues at the board. Bringing in Tulich, I said it when they brought him in at the season, that it was not a good idea, because I didn't feel that this man had enough track record to come into a team like Bayern and be able to give them the trophy. But then they did bring him in. A lot of people blamed it on the Harry Kane curse, because I have never believed it and I would never believe it. But they blamed it on the Harry Kane curse, and obviously, jokingly per se, the curse did work, because as it is, Harry Kane was there and they didn't win. They said it was the 2 players from Tottenham that has never won a trophy before. And we came at Eric Dyer that passed the course down to Bayern Munich. Funny stuff, but at the end of the day, getting more serious, it shows how much Bayern Munich has dropped in terms of the level at which they play and the intensity at which they play. They have not been that team this year. Yes, they struggle with certain issues, the likes of Gnabry struggling with injuries, Leroy Sané battling groin injuries and stuff, had issues with the backline and stuff. But at the end of the day, Bayern Munich will look at this season and be like, we need a reform. We need something better that can hold us up, a better coach. We need more players. And I'm really hoping that this competition will continue between Bayern Leverkusen and Bayern Munich, knowing that Alonso has said he will be staying there for another season. I cannot wait for Bundesliga next season. But then, congratulations to the champions, Bayern Leverkusen. Moving on from that, it was amazing football in La Liga. The 2 big teams who are heading into the classico come Sunday, Real Madrid and Barcelona, both played games, both won. Real Madrid against Mallorca, it was a good win for Real Madrid, 1-0, the goal from Tchouaméni. What a strike. And for Barcelona, it was against Cadiz, and I will not lie, that goal needs to be taped. Yes, this is me being sentimental. I'm a Barca fan, of course. That goal needs to be taped. It needs to be mirrored. It needs to be put in an art gallery. That is how you score a goal. And that was a beautiful goal from João Felix. Both teams playing at 1-0. The points between Madrid and Barcelona is currently 8 points. Barcelona winning the Classico could be a big deal, because it could be a potential title decider, knowing that after that game, they'll still have about 6 games left. So it's actually a big deal. Now we move into the Classico in full. Barcelona, Real Madrid. Now, right now, Barcelona has had to go about 12 games unbeaten right now, which means Barcelona is in the form of their life. Now, we do not take anything away from Madrid, who has actually been unbeaten for quite a while now. They haven't lost in a while. and they are playing exceptional football, to be honest, because with all the injury issues that they have had, you would expect that maybe they would not be able to win certain games due to injuries and stuff, especially when they play the likes of Girona, when they play the likes of Bilbao and the rest, but they found a way to win. So looking at that factor, we are going into the classico. It is hard to really pinpoint a winner. Now, being a Barcelona fan, I can be biased and say, yes, Barcelona has a higher chance of winning. But do I really think that Barcelona can just beat Real Madrid like that at the Santiago Bernabeu? It is not an easy thing, but it's not impossible. We have done it before. We have. So it's not impossible and say, oh, Barca cannot beat them. But we know how good and formidable a team like Madrid is. Look at the game against Man City, a typical example of how good Madrid can be. And we did not bring our own reputation down because we went to PSG and we actually won 3-2. So it's a tough game, but as a Barcelona fan, I'm supporting my club, and I feel that we can go to the Bernabeu and win that game. Winning that game will put us in a good position. We'll just be hoping that Madrid can draw one and lose one, then we can fight for that title. Madrid fans on my comments were telling me that, oh, keep dreaming. My brother, dreams do come to reality. And there is nothing stopping this dream from becoming a reality. All it takes is 2 losses and 1 draw, and we are back in the title fight. Hate me or love me, that is a fact. And the way Barcelona is playing right now, it's going to be hard for Madrid to beat Barcelona. But still, like I said, it is not impossible. It's a game that we cannot all wait for. We want to see what happens. But I'm going with my club, and I feel that we have a greater chance of winning that game. Then we move out to the Premier League, where we had some amazing results. Starting off with the Newcastle versus Tottenham game, which, if you ask me, was a game where, at this point in time, Postecoglou has to go back to his drawing board and change a lot of things about the way he played, because they were demolished, they were smashed, they were embarrassed. And although it's not like a big deal if you ask me, because they lost 6-1 last season in that same field, but it's fair to say at this point in time that Postecoglou needs to review his tactics, because whatever he's doing right now is not working. You can't keep playing high lines and losing in the magnitude at which you do. Every time you play high lines against top sides, you end up taking a lot of beating. And if you're not getting beatings, you're getting losses. You took a lot against Aston Villa and now again against Newcastle. Let's get into the game as it is. Isaac had an amazing game. 2 goals in that game. 4th top highest goal scorer with 17 goals. He's having what they call an amazing season, and we need to praise the young man for what he's doing currently in the league. It's not easy to come into the league like the Premier League and begin to give those kind of numbers, even if it's just for this season. But then I want to stop and have this conversation, because when I posted about Newcastle on my live, I had a lot of people talking about how Isaac was the better striker than Erling Haaland because he was an all-round player. Blah, 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 blah. And I felt I needed to talk about this before I go into other things. First off is this, yeah? Is Isaac a better all-round player in terms of goal scoring and everything? I disagree. Maybe he's better at holding on to the ball, dribbling and stuff like that. But there is one thing that cannot be taken away from Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland is the best goal scoring machine we have in this generation right now. I'm not going to take away anything from Isaac, but please let me let you know, last season while Erling Haaland was bagging 36 goals in the league, Isaac was not even top 10 highest goal scorer. He was not even in the top 10. Now Erling Haaland has come to this league. Currently, last season, 36 goals. This season, which has not been his best season, 20 goals. And you look at Erling Haaland and say, he's not a better player than Isaac. My brother, how now? Please explain to me how Isaac is a better goal scorer when this guy puts in numbers, keeps scoring goals when it matters, and is currently the highest goal scorer. Maybe a better dribbler of the ball than Erling Haaland. I cannot debate that, because the kind of play Guardiola wants Erling Haaland to play is the stationary 9 kind of play, whereby you are open in the box to be able to score. That is what Guardiola wants. I've said this repeatedly over time. He does not want a player that is constantly dribbling, moving, coming to the midfield to collect ball. That is not what Guardiola wants. If that's what he wanted, he wouldn't have sold Gabriel Jesus, because that guy does that every time. But then Guardiola wants a 9 that is in the box for the cross, so Erling Haaland does not have a lot of job to do. Just sit in there, score goals. Man City does not need a player to come into a striker to come into the midfield and play. They have midfielders for that. They have Kevin De Bruyne, they have Rodri, they have Foden, they have Kovacic. They got players for that. Why should Erling Haaland go to the midfield to come and play? If he's putting in the numbers as a striker, that is what matters. Do I think Isaac is a better goal scorer than Erling Haaland? No way. Do I think that Isaac is a better dribbler? Yes. Do I think that in terms of complete play, he is better than Erling Haaland? I will tell you, I do not still agree. Because why? Last season when Erling Haaland was putting in the number, he was not making mistakes with his controls. He was scoring goals. He was holding on to the ball. Just because a player has a bad season does not make him a bad player. Every player has bad seasons. I feel that comparison should not be happening. Even before Isaac came to Newcastle, when you check through both of them, who have been banging goals in the clubs they played for, Borussia Dortmund and the club Isaac played for, who has been banging more goals? Erling Haaland is way ahead of Isaac. So please, whoever brought up this debate should please stop it. Now back to the game, we have to talk about Tottenham and the way they play, and how I feel that it is time Postecoglou changes this pattern. You cannot keep playing this pattern. You are losing games that matter. As it is, Tottenham is in the position whereby they may lose their Champions League qualification spots if they keep losing games like this. Now, lest we forget, Tottenham still has to play Arsenal, they still have to play Liverpool, they still have to play Man City. You want to keep playing highlights against those kind of teams, they will put in goals. Your chances of making it to the top 4 is gone, or be traded, finished. They need to work on that, to be honest. I will not lie. But then we move over to the next game, which is Manchester United's game against Bournemouth. Let me say this for a fact. I will not come here and tell you that, Man United did not put in the best sheet. They did put in their best sheet. They tried their best, because let us be factual about one thing. And I want to make this abundantly clear. I did not see Man United beating Bournemouth in that game. No bookies even saw Man United beating Bournemouth in that game. That's how good Bournemouth has been at home this season. When you play Bournemouth at home, sometimes you have to think of what to do so you don't lose. Especially if you are playing at the level they were playing. I need to put this to a factor that, look here, Bournemouth missed a lot of chances in that game. They would have easily won that game. But that takes nothing away from the fact that Man United found a way to put in a good shift in that game to be able to hold that game to a draw. Same thing they did against Liverpool. If there is one thing Man United has found a way to do this season, especially towards the end of the season, they have been able to find a way to either win games or draw games, which is not a bad thing. Yes, I know that they are 10 points adrift of Tottenham, but at the same time, they are not losing games, which is what matters. Now, this is what Erik ten Hag had to say. He said, fans have to be patient. Fans have to be patient. It's up to them, but this is the truth. At the moment, all the problems we have, we play to our levels. We can play very good to our level when everyone is in top form, but we have to do it for the whole 90 minutes. Look here, Man United fans have been, I do not agree with him personally, but I feel that Man United, at this point in time, your fans of Man United should understand that you've gotten to that point in the season where you just have to make sure you're in Europe. There's no chance of you winning the league. Even the top 4 is not sure for you. You just have to make sure that at least you get to Europa or something. Man United is an overhaul of players. It cannot be taken away from them. But at the same time, we have to understand that Erik ten Hag has somehow found a formula that is keeping Man United in the fight for Europe. Now, he also said this. Players give everything, their maximum, but some of them are young, inexperienced, and it's difficult to do it at the games after games in the Premier League. It's difficult, but they have to deal with it. Garnacho had a problem coming out at halftime. If Garnacho had a problem coming out at halftime, no. Now, I can understand where it's coming from here, knowing that a lot of Man United fans were complaining about, I think it's Lapongas, I don't know how to pronounce that guy's name properly, that played in defense, and how Kobe Mino was not really in the game, and how Garnacho cannot influence the game so much. Please, these guys are young, there's little they can do in every game. The expectation of Manchester United fans on players of this age is unreal at times. It is, I don't understand it. Kobe Mino has done nothing but play good football since the day he joined Man United. He had a bad game and everybody was basically on Kobe Mino. Now, most of you may not have known, but if you check through social media, you know what I'm talking about. Same thing with the guy that played the defense, same thing with Garnacho. Everybody was on their neck. These guys are young. Kobe Mino should be about 18, Garnacho should be about 22 or so. These are young players. If you're taking your frustration out on Rashford, your frustration out on Bruno Fernandes, I will understand why. Why taking frustration out of the young boys like Kobe Menu, like Garnacho? These are young players. But at the end of the day, moving away from that, Man United did do their best. They were able to secure a draw in that game. It was a good result for them, if you ask me. It was better than a loss. And now we go into the big games. Liverpool. Hey, my God. We've got to talk about Liverpool. We have honestly got to talk about Liverpool, because what happened to Liverpool against Fulham? Oh my God. Was it Fulham? I'm sorry. What happened to Liverpool on Sunday was something that we did not see coming. We did not see coming at all. Liverpool losing that game was a shocker for me. I said Fulham, sorry, Crystal Palace. Liverpool losing that game was a shocker for me. I did not see Liverpool losing that game, and when it happened, I was shocked, because I felt Liverpool had everything it took to win that game play-wise. Were Liverpool the better team overall? Yes. Were they able to convert their chances? No. Was there a lot of selfish play in that game? Yes. Especially from the likes of Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones was very unimpressive in that game. Very unimpressive. And it cost Liverpool so many open chances. Then there is Darwin Núñez, who, bro, I'm sorry to say, Liverpool needs an extra striker. When it matters most, Darwin Núñez is playing cross-bar challenge. Yes, I said it. When it matters most, Darwin Núñez is playing cross-bar challenge. And it's not helping. Because the loss to Crystal Palace puts Liverpool third on the table, and in a position whereby they now have to fight to get back on top against a City team that we know when they get to the top of the table, it becomes a job of the highest level to bring them down. Could Liverpool have won that game? For sure. Look here, I don't know how they lost the game, but somehow they did. And this was Klopp's reaction to it. He said, Klopp on the title potentially over. He said, the answer is pretty easy. If we play like this, if we play like that in the first half, why would we win the league? Play like second half and we win the games. Win games, be around until the end, and we'll see where it takes us. Look here, I'm not going to be the guy to say this, but I think it's over for Liverpool and Arsenal. Arsenal also lost on the night against Aston Villa, which we will get into in a moment. But Man City, on the other hand, had a comfortable win, 5-0, 5-1, sorry. And they went top. Now, this is what we know. Man City are slow starters when the league begins. But as the league begins to progress, they are a hard team to play against. And when they climb on top of the table, just forget that league. Now, am I saying that there's no possibility of Man United drawing a game that can put Arsenal and Liverpool back? There's a possibility that they still have Tottenham to play, and that's one of their worst nemesis when it comes to the Premier League. But we know at this stage of the game, Man City can be very clinical. Liverpool's chances now of winning that league has fallen from 95% to only 3. Only 3. Do I think that they have a chance of winning this league? I don't know. We move over to Arsenal, who lost 2-0 to Aston Villa on the night. Goal from Leon Bailey and Oli Watkins. Arsenal, aside the save that was made by Emi Martinez from the shot by Trossard, I don't think Arsenal created enough chances to be able to get goals. I mean, clear-cut chances. Clear-cut. Now, what I saw Arsenal do was something that happened against Bournemouth last season. What I saw Arsenal do is something that we've constantly seen them do when we don't expect them to do it. Constantly hold on to the ball without having a direction of what they want to do. The first goal is conceded, and all of a sudden, Arsenal begins to wake up to the realization that, we are losing, no. But they forget it's already too late. And all of a sudden, They try to push in, try to get the goal by force. The second goal comes from Ollie Watkins. And what happens at that point in time? Arsenal lose the game. What is Arsenal's potential of winning this league right now? 5%. Just 5. In fact, it's less than 5. Let me say 2%, because they have Manchester United and they still have Chelsea to play. That is tough. Knowing the way Man United finds a way to draw every game. And Chelsea right now tends to be the problem for big teams. It's going to be hard for Arsenal. But then we stop for a moment to talk about Ollie Watkins, who has really improved during the course of the season. Currently, the second highest goal scorer to Erling Haaland, with 19 goals. Ollie Watkins is having a time of his life. And if you ask me, does he deserve an England call-up for the Euros? Yes, he does. He has put in performance, he has put in the work. Ollie Watkins scored goals, I think about 13, 14 last season. This season, he has gotten 19. There is consistency in Ollie Watkins. Do I feel that guy should be a part of the team come the Euros? Yes. Is he a striker that should be worth around 100 million for a team like Arsenal to go for next season? Yes. Arsenal needs a goal scorer. They do not have a proper striker. If you ask me, Arsenal need an Ollie Watkins or an Alexandra Isak to fill in that position, because Gabriel Jesus is not doing it. Ollie Watkins is their guy. Should they go for Ollie Watkins? I think they should. He's having the time of his life. He's putting on the shifts. He is impressive. You cannot take anything from him. When that guy meets your goalkeeper, he has a very high percentage chance of scoring. It makes him what they call a prolific goal scorer. It is not every time you see a player from a team like Aston Villa come second on the goal scoring chart. Kudos to Ollie Watkins. But there is an exciting week of football, and the big question is, what happens come the end of the season? Will Arsenal win the league? Will Liverpool win the league? Or will Man City make it the same old story? And let me put this way. If Man City should win that league, it has officially become a farmers' league. There is nothing anybody wants to tell me that I will listen. Man City wins that league, it is officially a farmers' league. But then it was an exciting week of football. We enjoyed every game that went down. We cannot wait for next week. More excitements to come.